Bulls Network. Honest Abe, Midnight Mike, Tommy, Jets in the house. Welcome in, everybody. Guys, I don't know about y'all, but the draft, and I said y'all like I'm from the South, but the draft is like right around the freaking corner. Our draft tonight is something that we've all been dreading since the moment we decided to do this, but something that I have not been dreading all week is talking to you two wonderful gentlemen. So, Mike, my guy, Hartford Yard Goat legend, what is going on, brother?
What's up? Yeah, I do another channel, the Goat Gazette, and I have media credentials for the Hartford Yard Goats. And I went to media day. I got to talk to former New York Yankee and manager Bobby Meacham. And I talked to some of the players. They're all top. The guys I talked to are all top prospects. This Jaden Hill pitcher, I mean, he's throwing hard. And then like their number one, the Rockies' number one overall draft pick, Benny Montgomery, got to talk to him. It was a great time. So check it out on that YouTube channel. And and my normal Midnight Mike show, Tuesdays 10 p.m., Saturdays at 9 p.m. on my YouTube channel.
Radio for one, talking Hartford Yard Goats there.
Hey, man, you got to support. I'll tell you what, the MLB has priced the average family out. A family of four, parking, all that stuff. You know, you're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You find a good local MILB team, and I'm telling you, it's a blast. It's a blast. It's affordable. And you get to, hey, man, the guys that I've been covering over the past 2 years are now on the Colorado Rockies and playing on one of the worst teams in the league. So.
No, it's absolutely cool. And again, I love baseball. Baseball is always my first love. So I'm just giving crap. But to go to a game, like there's nothing better. Summertime, minor league baseball, you're a foot and a half away. You can hear the fastballs zipping through 60 feet, 6 inches. So Mike, I'm giving you crap. I love baseball. I don't care what teams are playing. Tommy, Jets, you pumped for tonight's draft, brother?
I don't know. I was texting you off, earlier today about potentially making a trade, and then I realized that the trade rules were not going to work in the favor of the trade that I wanted to do. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
So everyone's in the loop on tonight's draft show. Last week we drafted our favorite first round picks all time for the New York Jets. Shout out, thank you, appreciate everyone that chose me as their winner. Pretty obvious.
I realized me and Tommy are at a lose-lose situation with this, because you and your undroppables Twitter circle, all those people go down, and there's no look. Yeah, no, look, I can tell you right now, Abe's list may have been the best. He was able to get Darrelle Revis. We all wanted Darrelle Revis, but he wasn't 65% better than me and Tommy's. That's those undroppable people. So I'm going to have to go begging on my show to get people to come on over to Jets Uncovered on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and vote some Midnight Mike.
I will say this. The way our drafts are set up, how they're not snaked, and I will be the first one to, we will in our offseason of off seasons, I will argue to have the snake in place for future drafts. But on a draft like that, I was at a severe advantage picking first overall. On tonight's draft, drafting the best Jets quarterbacks as Jets, picking third overall, I am at possibly the greatest disadvantage in NFL draft history tonight.
I don't envy you.
That's the truth. You get the third, sixth, the ninth.
And the 12th.
Like it's crazy.
There's
nice.
We won't fully go through our lists right now, but the name Tom Tupa did enter my mind.
Well, that's being a Jets fan. When Tommy messaged me about it, like, oh, this is going to be rough past the second round, I said, like, that just is indicative of the New York Jets. We have never really had great quarterbacks, and it's going to show anyone watching this show who's not a Jets fan the pain that we have to go through, because if you're a fan of another team, go look at your all-time list of quarterbacks and then look at what we have to choose from here.
Tommy, as you were making your list for tonight, how painful was it just looking back at the old times? And by old times, I mean like 2-3 years ago even.
It was bad, man. After I got to like the round 2 guys, like about 6 people in, I started looking at the names and it's like, oh, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. And I didn't have to start picking from which guy I like least and start going to some like weird place of to why I'm choosing this guy in this spot. It's bad. It's the end of my list is terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite an entertaining evening. That is for sure. If there's one thing that we can guarantee you on Jets Uncovered, is that you will be entertained. The content might
Yeah.
suck. We are terrible human beings, and we're terrible at doing this, but you will be entertained. I wish I had the drop. Like, are you not entertained? I think that's a real. I think that's a real drop somewhere in the universe. Tonight's draft.
Let me say something real quick. Let me say something real quick, Abe. It's funny because originally I went to the list of like Jets starting quarterbacks all time, and then I was like, we've had to have some other like crazy ones, and I started to look at like lists of the starter and who their backups were, because I was like, there had to have been other guys on the team that I'm not thinking of that maybe didn't actually start but played in a bunch of games, and it's like, no, man, the list is that tough to go through.
I mean, we had recommendations after last week's show of having the worst Jets draft picks. I'd say we make a list of worst Jets quarterbacks as well, but I have a feeling a lot of them are going to end up on our best quarterback list also.
If it went one more round, we would have to, they'd all be there.
I mean, Christian Hackenberg is really, really close to being a top 12 New York Jets all-time quarterback.
At least if
It's
you're
pretty
a Penn
crazy
State fan.
how close some of these guys got. Yeah.
It really is. Well, tonight's show and tonight's draft are brought to you by Manscaped. So don't forget to go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code DFSD for 20% off and free shipping. Mother's Day is around the corner. No, that's not going to work. But go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code DFSD, 20% off and free shipping. Guys, last week we had some big headlines with Hassan Reddick. This week, it's actually been really nice and peaceful in Jets land. There are no nasty rumors, no rumors about our quarterback becoming vice president of the United States or the owner of the team being the whatever to whatever. No wiretapped phone calls between Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson. Anything this week before we get into tonight's draft? Anything that really stick out to you guys that made you disappointed to be Jets fans?
Nothing disappointed, but I mean, I think the biggest news over the past week was the Stephon Diggs trade, and I mean, yeah, we'll still have to face him once during the year, but if you're asking Sauce to contain Stephon Diggs one time as opposed to two times, I think Sauce will contain him one time, so no problem there.
So let me follow up with that, Tommy. Is the AFC East the Jets division to lose right now?
That's actually what I was gonna go after Mike about, is that now it kind of opens the door for the AFC East, because the Bills have Curtis Samuel there. That's really it. They're gonna have to draft a wide receiver in the first round now, and hey, that guy has to be like elite off the rip in order for it to be a substantial gain for them. It really just makes it to me personally, Josh Allen's going to be a great quarterback. He does what he does, but for me personally, I think right now it's a race between Miami and the Jets.
Mike, I know how much you love Miami. Are they a real threat to you? To us?
No.
To our souls?
No. And I know you have to keep repeating yourself, and it sucks that you have to keep repeating yourself, because it's true to every single team in the league. If there is a substantial injury to your quarterback or one of your skill players, any team will fold. But the reason we have to constantly say it is because it happens to us every effing year. So if the Jets are healthy, no, I don't think they're a threat. I think the Jets win the division.
No love for the New England Patriots and
no, they're the trash of the AFC East.
Not on the Drake May train.
I saw Bill Belichick with that Washington gear on. I felt like I was in Bizarro World. I don't know if you guys have seen that photo go through circulation yet.
No. So let me ask.
Wait, what a minute. I didn't hear any news about it. What happened?
Because his son's coaching like a defense. I don't know if it was Washington. It's some other college school. College. I should have college.
So Tommy, I want to ask you this, and I think this is more a Tommy question than a Mike question. with the Patriots picking 3rd overall, assuming they stay in place, Caleb Williams, we all know, is going to be the 1st overall pick, followed by a slew of quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, excuse me. I believe that all 3 of those guys are NFL busts. I think none of them turn out to be anything good. And I think it's getting super hyped up like the 2021 quarterback draft class with Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and so on. Do you see any of those guys, as you being the draft expert, seeing any of those guys when they go to the Patriots being a guy that's going to just hurt our souls year in and year out like they've done in the past?
I kind of get the same sentiments as you in regards to that Zach Wilson draft class. My biggest thing is I don't think that, Gerard Mayo is going to be like a coach of the future for the Patriots. I think he's kind of like a stopgap guy. We've seen how many times where if a quarterback has to go through multiple offensive coordinators, multiple coaches, it just makes their time in the NFL really hard. And I'm hoping that whoever gets there, that's kind of the case for them. I want everybody to succeed, but not unless they're, not unless it's against the Jets. So I would like to see them go through as many coordinators, head coaches as possible, make it as hard as possible for these top guys to have a difficult time in the NFL. I think the Jets defense will do that too. I just don't see a way where we have to worry, at least not in year 1.
Mike, any thoughts on any of those draft class guys? I know you're not a big draft nerd like Tommy is.
I just still find it hard to or hard to understand why, like you just said it, and everyone says it. Wow, Caleb Williams is going number 1. I would not draft him, and I mean I would, at least if I was in those top few picks, I wouldn't draft him over some of the other guys. And everyone I talk to, everyone I listen to, they say the same thing. I'd be like, oh, would you want to draft Caleb Williams? And they're like, no. And it's so what makes everyone so confident that something doesn't happen and Caleb Williams drops to 3 or 4 on the quarterback list? Because I mean, look at him. He's weak. He's clearly not ready emotionally for the NFL. He wasn't ready emotionally to play at USC. I'm sorry. He's going to be a bust unless he mans up real quick. I have no confidence in Caleb Williams. And like I've said before I don't know if it was this show or another show, if I'm the Chicago Bears, I would have kept Justin Fields unless I was planning to go to McCarthy or May or whoever.
That's bold. I don't see all the love that Caleb Williams gets. I'm not on the Caleb Williams superstar train like some are. So I'm with you there, Mike.
No, I'm not even necessarily saying he gets tons of love. What I'm saying is anytime anyone does a draft or talks about the draft, everyone just naturally throws Caleb Williams at number 1. But then when you actually talk to people about Caleb Williams, say, would you want Caleb Williams? Most people are like, I don't know about that. So I'm just not sold on the fact that he will be the number 1 without a question or without a doubt, the number 1 pick.
I disagree. I think that he's undoubtedly going to be the number 1 pick. Whether you think that he should be or not is a different question as to whether he will be or not. So should he? I can hear the argument against. Will he? There's no chance, I believe, that he gets to number 2.
I wouldn't draft.
I wouldn't either.
I don't want any of these quarterbacks. And luckily for us, we have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will not be on our list of quarterbacks drafted, but here is tonight's draft.
Don't spoil it for people.
I still have nothing. Let's see if any of these sound good. Nope, that's the same one. Nope, that's the same one also. All we got is the same freaking draft.
The draft is in. The pick is in.
All right. Yeah. Mike, you are up with the 101 of top New York Jets quarterbacks of all time. And I have some strong feelings and assumptions as to where you're going to be going with this.
With the first pick in the 2024 best New York Jets quarterback of all time, the Midnight Mike selects quarterback 16, Vinny Testaverde. And that was no surprise to anyone because we talked about it on the last show. And if you've watched any of my shows, you know that I am a Vinny mark. I love Vinny. Vinny is my Jets god. And I'm sorry, show me another Jets quarterback that went 12-2 and had his like touchdown to interception. Or I don't even know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm guessing. And I want to say it was like 25 touchdowns to 4 interceptions in those games. And I'm just guessing, but it was like, it's something crazy like that. You're not going to find another New York Jets quarterback with those kind of stats in a single season. He is amazing. And I love Vinny. I love Vinny. I love Vinny.
If in case the people were unsure, I think Mike, you took Vinny Testaverde. I believe that's the first overall pick that we got there.
Yes, Vinny Testaverde. Gotta
Yep.
go. Gotta go.
Tommy, should we just skip your pick if you want to pass it to me? I'd offer you a trade for it, but I don't think that there's any value whatsoever. I'll just give
I
you
think this might be the first time where Joe Namath is number 2 on like an all-time Jets kind of thing. You know, I thought I was gonna get Vinny. I already, until I found out Mike loved Vinny, I thought I was like, oh, this is my chance. I'm gonna get Vinny Testaverde. Guy I grew up watching. I loved him. And then no, Mike comes and swoops it. But hey, Joe Namath, Mr. Deal with the Devil himself. You know, the only Super Bowl for the Jets is hard. Number 2, got to go with Joe Namath for the second pick of the best Jets quarterbacks. He brought the only Super Bowl. And while it didn't end as pretty as it started, you know, hey, it's Broadway Joe, baby.
Yeah, there's really no surprise with those top two picks. With the third overall pick, again, with such dismay that it has been the Jets quarterback situation in our lifetimes, I'm going Chad Pennington here. Again, that shouldn't really be. I know, Mike, who you wanted.
I am so happy now.
I know who he's getting now.
I know who he's getting. I already have it on my list as written down as guy Mike will take with the 4th pick, because I knew with Chad at 3. Mike, just take your time.
I don't want to show you my list, so my hand is covering my list, but I have a list of like 10, 11 guys under my hand, but at the very, very bottom, it says Pennington, Sanchez, because those guys I just don't want to go to.
Sanchez is high on my list for the playoff wins. But Mike, just announce it. Just say Tom Tupa already.
Yeah, it's not Tom Tupa at all. To add to my quarterback room with Vinny Testaverde, I'll have to go with my other favorite New York Jets quarterback of all time. And I'm so happy. Number 7 out of Cal Davis, Kenny O'Brien. Hell yeah. I am so excited that I got those two. Because honestly, in a Jets QB draft, it's like even I know that Abe has like 30 undroppable guys voting for him, but to have Joe Namath on that list, like the average person will look at that list and see Joe Namath's name and click that person. And I knew I was taking like kind of a risk with that. So, but if I got Vinny and Ken O'Brien, I mean, come on.
You got to play to the crowd though, Mike. Got to play to the crowd. Tommy, what's your number 2 pick?
I knew he was gonna pick Ken too. This kind of I'm going down to like my. I mean, I was gonna, you know, I feel dirty picking this guy right now because at the time I wasn't even a huge fan of him, but I gotta go with the playoff wins. It's your man Abe. It's Mark Sanchez. I'm taking him overall. You know, when he was here, I didn't like him. I liked him more after he left. You know, he seemed like a nice guy. It's the playoff wins. This is where we're at already, midway through round 2.
So
but I'll tell you what. Hold on, Abe. I want to just say that if I had to get down to those lower picks, I'd have to go Sanchez too, and I'd pick him over Pennington because I mean, at least Sanchez has those two AFC Championship games in his back pocket. I mean, that's like the highlight of anyone who's a Jets fan over the past 25 years. You know,
I get it. Hey, Mark Sanchez. I still got 2 Mark Sanchez jerseys upstairs in the closet that I rock all the time. So I'm perfectly content with the Mark Sanchez pick. I'm actually very excited where I'm positioned right now because I still got 4 guys that are on my list that I'm high on. Again, high is relative because these aren't like exactly like studs, but I know I'm going to get 2.
I have 3. I have 3 I'm high on, and 1 that I have no problem picking.
So the guy I'm going to take now is a fan favorite and should up my votes just a little bit. And I'm going with good.
You're going to win.
I'm getting Brett Favre. I'm getting Brett Favre here, despite only playing 1 season. The dude was great for 11 games and then tore his biceps and really couldn't throw the ball anymore. Still went out there every game, you want to talk about I wanted the record, all this and that. That's whatever. I don't care. Dude toughed it out and played the last 5 games without a throwing arm. So I'm good with it. Give me Brett Favre in this dismay of Jets quarterback drafts. I'm all for it at 6 overall. Mike, what you're at 7 now.
I want to say some people call what Brett Favre did toughness, and some would call it selfishness. Get off the field, let your backups come in, and get us that one extra win we needed to make the playoffs.
Is Kellen Clemens getting us?
I mean, Brett was playing with a bad arm. Like, what are we talking about here?
We
those
joke
last
around,
5 games were bad, Abe.
we joke around
Yeah,
all
they
the
were
time.
bad.
Look, would you rather Aaron Rodgers on one leg or a healthy Zach Wilson? And we'd all say now,
There's a difference between legs. No, there's a difference between legs.
Would you want Aaron
legs
Rodgers
are different.
one arm or a healthy Zach Wilson?
Is it his throwing arm?
Yeah.
So you're talking about a lefty Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Versus
over a healthy Zach Wilson.
I'd have to take a healthy Zach Wilson. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. You can't just have Aaron Rodgers throwing with one arm and it's his left arm.
Look,
come on now.
I think you're in the minority there, Mike.
Maybe I am, but I'd rather have. Aaron Rodgers can't run, and now he can't use his right arm. So at least.
Did I just hear with the 7th overall pick, Mike took Zach Wilson?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh man, this is killing me. You guys are killing me.
All right. With the what is it? Is it the 7th overall pick?
Yes, 7th overall.
There's a guy I enjoyed watching more than this guy, but this guy has the season under his belt, and I've got to go with Fitzmagic. So I'm going to take Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He was the guy I was debating with Brett Favre about because of the love affair everybody has with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
If Favre was there, I may have picked Favre over Fitzmagic, but you took him. So what can I do?
It's awesome. I mean, Fitzpatrick did play more than Favre in New York. He played, what is it? 2 seasons, 1.5 seasons before he got hurt and was out. So I like Fitzpatrick a lot here.
Let's also point out too, if there is anyone watching that's not a Jets fan and how pathetic our quarterback situation is, Fitzmagic threw in that season. What does he hold the Jets record for? Is it the most touchdowns in a season? It's either most touchdowns or most yards in a season. And Fitzmagic is the Jets leading. Yeah. And so think about that, folks. Think about that.
Honestly, I'd rather not think about it.
I'm telling the people who aren't Jets fans to think about it.
Tommy, who are you picking at number 8?
Man, Mike is killing me in this draft, man. I'm just getting sniped every round now, and I thought Fitzpatrick would have came to me. Oh man, I'm getting to like the ugly part of my list here, because I didn't want this guy when he was drafted by the Jets. And hey, it's the man who was seeing ghosts himself. I'm rocking Sam Darnold right here. I'll give him a little, I'll give him a little bit of leeway for the Adam Gase stuff. But God, man, I really like the kid, the personality. I've spoken to him. He's a nice guy, good guy. I'm rooting for him, but it's getting to a part now where I guess I got to pick him.
I have 5 quarterbacks on my list over Sam Darnold.
So do I. So do I.
I'm shocked.
For Darnold. I thought Darnold was going to be my last pick of the draft overall.
Yeah. I have no words.
I have no words. Just
I actually can't wait till we draft and then talk about who's left on our lists.
Well,
that's going to be the interesting part.
There's 4 picks left. I have 5 names written down. And for me, I'm going with a former MVP. As Jets fans, we love bringing in the old guys that are the has-beens. This guy was still great for us. This is the first New York Jets jersey I ever wore, and he is still a New York Jets legend to this day. And that is the redheaded slinging number 7, Boomer Esiason. How do you not love?
My next pick.
How do you not love Boomer? I can't believe he lasted this long in this draft.
He was my next pick. He was next on my list. I hate that I have to cross him out because when he picked Sam Darnold, I'm like, I may get Boomer. Like, I'm looking at it like, holy shit, I may get Boomer. To have fucking Vinny, Kenny, Fitzmagic, and Boomer.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
wow.
right.
But you just hey, credit to you.
I couldn't pick
Credit
Boomer
to
because
you.
of that. That's the hey, he's talked so much junk on his show, Boomer and Geo, about the Jets. I couldn't do it. I couldn't
Makes
do
a
it.
legend, bro. We talk junk about the Jets too. It's just real. We suck. It is what it is.
We do
That's
suck.
It is what it is. All right, Mike, finish this draft out.
This is tough.
Your fourth round pick. I got 4 names on my list still.
So do I. I have 4 left. And literally, the only person who I didn't have on my list of like 12 or whatever that was picked was Sam Darnold. Oh man, this is tough. Okay, I'm just gonna go with. Okay, number 6. Was it 6? I believe so. Ray Lucas.
Oh, Luke is on my list.
9.
You were number 6.
He was 6. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Ray Lucas. Scramble, baby.
Ray Lucas.
Scramble around. I needed one of those.
Ray Lucas was certainly on my list.
Think about that. Seriously, think about this, folks. We each only, it's 3 of us. We only picked 4 people each, and now Ray Lucas and non-Jets fans. Do you even know who I'm talking about? Was picked. I mean, let's be real.
All right, Tommy, who are you taking with your last pick? It's gonna be Zach Wilson. It's gonna be.
Not. Oh man, I couldn't do that to myself.
Nice, Petty.
Hey, Petty and the Jets has a nice ring to it. I'm gonna go with a guy that this is bad because he's not good, but he's a guy that when I bought Madden at the time, I was really young, and he was actually the starting quarterback on the Jets for the Madden game. This is bad, and that's gonna be Glenn Foley.
Wow.
You know, so this is a sentimental pick. I mean, I don't think anybody outside of Jets Nation even knows who Glenn Foley is. They probably think he's a punter, special teams guy. But that's my.
Remember earlier, folks, when I said that Vinny Testaverde went 12-2. Well, you have to remember there were 16 games in a season. You know who played those first 2 losses? There you go, Glenn Foley.
Man, that's a throw. I was not expecting a Glenn Foley reference tonight.
But he actually had a great game in that first game. They lost, but he did have a good game against San Francisco, I believe it was.
So with my final pick of this just dreadful draft, I have 3 names still on my list. 1 I can completely cross off. The other 2 is really a toss-up for me. It's one guy that was here. He was a high draft pick that started a whole bunch of games for us. He started 2 complete seasons, and another guy that started 3 games, 7 games total, and was absolutely electric. So in a toss-up between Geno Smith and Mike White, I'm gonna go with the slayer of Mike White. I'm gonna go Mike White here.
Mike White was just drafted as the 12th best quarterback in New York Jets history. I just want to put that into the universe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mike White here. The dude gave us all hope for such a short time, but it was fun. Like, who's gonna forget that Bengals game, catching that 2-point conversion? Who's gonna forget that he just got his life blown out of him against Buffalo and tried coming back into the game? The dude couldn't breathe for like 6 weeks, and every game we're like, God, if we just have Mike White back, like, we are a playoff team with Mike White. How many people were clamoring before getting Aaron Rodgers? Hey, if we just bring Mike White back, dude, we're set.
Mike fucking White, baby.
That's it's so fucking pathetic, though. It's so pathetic as Jets fans that we really had a hope in Mike White. Like, that was a hope for us. That was like, yes. Like any other team would be like 3rd string, Mike White. Jets fans make shirts. Like, come on now.
It's great. I mean, players are making shirts. So again, the other guy I had on my list was Geno Smith. I really thought he would be drafted at some point tonight. I got one other name. That was Richard Todd. He was only on there because he started for so long.
Like, that was Todd too.
that was it.
I
You
had
guys got
my final three. My final three that I did not pick: Richard Todd, Neil O'Donnell, and Josh McCown.
Neil O'Donnell would have been nice. Nobody remembers Neil O'Donnell in the 1 year he played, 2 years he played for the Jets in 96 and 97. But Neil O'Donnell would have been a nice little throwback. Tommy, you have anybody else on your list?
Yeah, my last three was Gino, Richard Todd, because he sucked. Hey, did you guys know that Richard Todd was the last like first round Alabama quarterback all the way up until 2005 when Tua was selected? He like set a precedent for badness. But I also love that he shoved Steve Serby in a locker. That's all time story. But I also had randomly Mike Vick on there as just a throw-in.
Well, that would have made more sense in that thing that was made. Did you see that they changed our thumbnail for our video on the YouTube channel, and it looked like it was a picture of Darrelle Revis and Michael Vick in an Eagles uniform, because it was only talking about Jets' top, first round picks. Nothing was written about Hassan Reddick. And so, but it was actually Hassan Reddick, a picture of Hassan Reddick, but with the visor and everything else, you couldn't tell who the hell it was. It could have been me under that. You couldn't tell. So the picture that was used, I thought was Michael Vick originally, because when I see number 7 and the Eagles or the Falcons, I think Michael Vick. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Nothing beats finishing a show off on a good old Michael Vick reference. Is it the dog barking? Nope, not the dog. All right. Well, that's all the time we got for tonight's show. Guys, what do you got coming up as next week's draft? Will probably be a little bit more exciting as we talk running backs. Mike, Tuesday night, Saturday Night Live, Tommy, FF League winners. You guys, what else you guys got going on?
Wait, real quick, can we do it like running? Because we don't have our own like fullback category. Can we just do running back, fullback?
Yeah. You want to put Tony?
I like that.
You want to put Tony Richardson in there? Sure, go for
it. I'm just saying it would be easier. Let's just do the guys who run the ball, running back, fullback.
Yes, and Ray Lucas, because he ran the ball too.
That's true, but he's already been drafted.
He's already been. Can't be drafted again. Mike Vick.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just saying. That's all the time we got for tonight. For Abe, Mike, Tommy, Jets. Till next time.